Line with Kwekwanon only on CTV. The Frontline with Kwekwanon only on CTV. The Frontline with Kwekwanon only on CTV. The Frontline with Kwekwanon only on CTV.
The former Special Prosecutor Martin Alamisi Ben Kaiser Amidu has weighed heavily into the judicial standoff of the suspended Chief Justice Mrs. Getrude Torkonu. In a 6-page epistle cited by the Frontline show, Mr. Amidu alluded to the fact that it is unethical and dishonorable, therefore, to reframe the clear constitutional mandate on the hearing of proceedings for the removal of Superior Court Justice to give the impression to the unsuspecting public that someone or a group of persons are calling for the hearing of the petitions to remove the Chief Justice by the committee appointed by President. Meanwhile, the Chief Justice has also mounted a spirited pushback, challenges what she described abuse the removal process, seeking to halt the committee to probe. Tonight, we explore all angles to this very developing stories. Plus, Wuntumi still in the custody of the security services now, of course, being pronounced not properly well, if you like, unfit in all of that. Folks, we're coming to you tonight, the very midweek Frontline show, live from the HQ of CTV here in Accra and across dozens of stations, all tonight picking the feed, plus our very own picking the feed in Sunyani on 88.1 FM. Western region is picking the feed on 99.1 FM, and in London they are picking the feed on GOB TV. GOB TV is picking the feed on modernghana.com and tuning. Still on GOB, they are lifting the feed on www.gobtv.tv plus Apple Music. The internet is blazing tonight from this very studio here on my CTV GH and the Frontline Ghana. The Frontline Ghana, please subscribe to all that of our channels. Plus, the interactive segment on the WhatsApp line 020-297-3461, 020-297-3461. It's a promise. Tonight, I'm going to read all your messages. Folks, I welcome all our viewers here in Ghana and around the world to the midweek Frontline, the nation's investigative magazine show with Kwekwanon. Tonight, what do I have for you? 2 issues on the table. Now, the embattled Chief Justice, of course, won't go away anytime soon as she continued to, battle her case out with the committee. And I'm quite sure today, many of you again have heard that the embattled Chief Justice yet has suffered a major blow. Of course, as of yesterday, she filed an interlocutory injunctions against the committee, that the committee will not be able, the interlocutory injunctions obviously trying to what? She cited what she described as an abuse of the committee, right? So, in other words, she's trying to seek to halt the committee from probing all about her case and all of that. She's again cited the chairman of the committee, right, Justice Scott Praman, as a chairman who is not in good standing, and quite a number of the committee members, of course, also in the light of what in the position as judges and all of that. And quite an interesting development, pretty fascinating. Of course, guess what? That the Chief Justice, who the judges are supposed to bow before her today, she goes and meets the committee and she bows before her justices. This is quite serious, though, is it not? But on the flip side of all of this, one renowned, a prominent figure in this country, we all know, of course, once became the former Chief Justice of this republic, right? She also became a former PNDC secretary, a man in many fittings. You know, he has acted as, he was a former PNDC secretary in the Upper East region, in the ex-while former and late Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, of course, also became the special prosecutor of this our republic before Kisi Jabin. Who is this person? And no other person but who? Martin Alamisi Ben Kaiser Amidu, right, has filed, if you like, has written an explosive article, 6-page epistle, landed, severe one, right, on this embattled Chief Justice and her attorney, and that is also the former Attorney General Godfred Yeboah Dame. The 6-page epistles of Martin Amidu is what you need to hear tonight. And the embattled Chief Justice would have to read this article. I'm going to display all of it tonight. We'll go into this article by Martin Alamisi Ben Kaiser Amidu. We'll go into the article, 6-page. Very severe, terrible. Everybody has gotten a share of this, and tonight we are going to go into this explore the details of this article. What is it that Martin Amidu is saying? And all of this brouhaha, dragging the Chief Justice left today, we are dragging her right, and all of that. Some are saying, you know, the embattled Chief Justice is again, you know, seeking to, as it were, address a situation that, hey, some are saying that the committee should sit in camera. Some are saying the committee should rather also sit in public, and all of that. Folks, can you fathom? I mean, what is going on? Whether the Chief Justice, the embattled Chief Justice proceedings should be held in camera or in public or otherwise. What does the 1992 Constitution says? What is the provision? What is the Constitution saying? The Constitution is the mother guide to every institutions in this country. So why at one point the embattled Chief Justice is yearning for her proceedings to be held in camera? On one hand, petitioners are also yearning for, right, the proceedings should be held. You know, the Chief Justice is the embattled Chief Justice rather prefer that the committee should sit in public. The petitioners otherwise also say no, we want this committee to sit in camera. But above the two prepositions, what does the Constitution say? Why is it that today the Chief Justice, the embattled Chief Justice, prefer that the committee should sit in public? Why? Well, this is where, right, the Honorable Martin Alamisi Ben Kaiser Amidu drops in the bombshell. Tonight, you have to know all about what Martin Amidu is saying. It is severe. 6-page article here, and I'm going to read it to you. So tonight, I call upon the legal luminaries. Yes, Martin Amidu is no other. I mean, he's not a child's play. He's not a kid. Oh, he's a big man. Martin Alamisi Amidu is a big man. He's a man today. If Ghana was to be a country of, you know, good whatever, I don't know to put it, but he would be a man who can be used as a reference point in many of our constitutional standings, especially where there is misunderstanding, there is a standoff, there's all about constitutional disputes and all of that. These are the persons we fall on, because Martin is a constitutional lawyer. He's done so many things for this country way back in the inception of the 1992 Constitution. So why have we left such persons all there? Martin is on retirement. He's there doing his own thing. Martin is there doing his own thing. So why haven't we fallen the likes of Martin Amidu, you know, to serve as a guide in most of this, you know, call it the dispositions of things. So they will set the record straight for us. Why not? Well, tonight, the bombshell of Martin Amidu you need to hear. Still on the bill, folks, you are going to hear what? Then battle who? Bernard Entribue Siakon, also known as who? Wuntumi. Has it become that in fact, Wuntumi, he can't? The meaning of Wuntumi means what? You can't. But is it what we are seeing, hearing? That in fact, he can't? No, I'm quite sure that Wuntumi can. As of yesterday, same time, Wuntumi was in the grips of Yoko. And still as we speak, he's in the custody of the security services. What are the charges, or what charges have they pressed on Wuntumi as of now? Tonight, the build-up is severe one, and you have to simply just brace all that we're about to say tonight here. But until all of these discussions comes off, of course, Ghana Speaks takes off, and Ghana Speaks, of course, takes off with who? They take off with the biogas expert engineers. You can contact them for what? For the construction of the state-of-the-art kitchen, build and borehole, anything in terms of what? Even acquisition of land and all of anything that you are looking for. Kojo Awono will join me shortly. So Kojo, if you are ready, join me shortly, quickly, so that we do justice to all of that. Now, folks, I have a message for the NPP. And this message is coming from a renowned actor. But before that, folks, let me switch you to Ghana Speaks. Let's get started. Former Chief Justice and a suspended Chief Justice as somewhere down an ordinary, and then one more sign call na semnoso, one more course no, and somewhere my meno or the two granny nano, and I say or church or the coma committee no, Nina ne mubie nuwa, etimi e coma mami. No, and no, and na ye pape a ye Martin Alamisi Ben Kaiser Amidu kaneno no ye den obeye Attorney General kesiye pa wo memu ha. Then osanso beye special prosecutor. Kojo Awono, please join me quickly. Osan beye why special prosecutor. Nyebeteo. Now, why you say at the end of the day no as I said or didn't say me betuga because as a confusion be brave, and then the legal luminary said the year church and same no be brave na enkoye. Martin Alamisi Ben Kaiser Amidu was best set to record in straight in his 6-page epistles. Tonight I call on all the legal luminaries amuwo memha mesra mo information a lawyer for kuku da mo Ghana for waso eben CTV ha say na tie ensemo Martin Alamisi Ben Kaiser Amidu or the abetudwa be 6-page but ye be kan ni na amamo hu na ya chirechire mu kama e de amamo. Still on the bail, Wuntumi sabrede so betimi so wuntimi no asam na no wide no wuntimi kura debi ma chere say nra around this same time not or yoko for nsem and chekra na yeti say no debi wuntimi ama wuntimi say say ka say yede ne kura aspiti ne yede ne kwhye okra say hu which of the aspiti ben yede na kwhye yenim ayen sempi anadwi ye ba be bieni na som wehu ema enioma added na kwem na mum enkra be free a renowned iconic global actor osemefa se mimre MPP for papai na gra wodie no odi wo Los Angeles City of Angels in the United States ose opamocho ni din no mabono dodo ono crisis your retirement obi aso nim so retirement so why now here in Africa mudi ni din di agrosa aden papai your friend Rambo ose munya ni din bo wa bre okwo owahudiem fitibe month senior obete Rambo star aden or see Rambo no we na dwuma why say mo dragging the dino eba mo arrest the way no be a Rambo and e beti we Rambo star and a Rambo or see Rambo na ye nka so den na I tend to agree or see me fa sankra ne mremo munya ni dini bo Rambo no doso Rambo yachiwo. It doesn't matter see a chun quinty and a chun fichiro and I with them and I am for yachiwa and near Rambo assembia Rambo no Dawson and a Rambo star and a Rambo star saying Marsha our movies no Rambo ye movie ya namon here. Na mashe ni movies say we are then near becho see a becho to say Rambo star. So send in aka movies no Anna. Yes. Tonight folks it just defia say call a friend, call a brother, call a sister midweek frontline. A basu say giti. Yet in your attitude comparison ye bebani nason. Kojo Awono has just joined me. Minini bedin komo teu ni free ho near the Nioma attitude nakono. And koma kojo ni bedin so who taking it serious a beboa papa sense sebe kitchen ubenya mumfa so sebe asasi sebe dio kojo would speak on all of the above near the Nioma attitude. Kojo Awono. It's the thing. Good one. Could it be a boko dear? Wonderful.
Yeah, no, you are looking very, very good. Extraordinary. Extraordinary.
Thank you very much. Now, Unim Rambo.
Saying a few ruby. Rambo, dear Rambo.
Unim Rambo.
By a hunuda. Yeah.
So, yeah. I said, you didn't do it.
I keep for baby. Yes, I don't money take a day, and I win tea. A normal.
And the young corners are
yes, young corners are, but they can say, media politics, they may
I see a bonny dean too much.
Say
a Rambo star.
It was some and I pay, and I body. Now,
folks, could you join me shortly? Could you and come over and be and ever for him for home?
Yeah, cool. Say medical share I for mutia or fidye bebresu. Ne Rebecca Safa kitchen. Good. Rebecca Safa assassin. Rebecca Safa boho. Why per se to sumo Rebecca Safa. Wow, so ye a diamond on so Yama. The opposite would dan yen simo, and I was here we open CSC. Pure kitchen cabinet or electrical work. The background in Nana, Yama, kama. It's never been common.
Good one. Yeah. Money flow. Good one.
Yo, Sinayakano.
Yeah.
A friend is saying, kitchen, production, Mumma, kitchen.
Yeah. Mama, MCA, Mama, kitchen, Kojo kitchens, and the state of the art kitchens near fair. Na, Ubia, wo people, no. Let's just say why then what contact to Kojo. Ntimoma state of the art kitchen in Rafa. All right, Kojo.
Just a very good thing about burgers. I'm so impressed on telephone. Okay. Oh, Freya, oh yes. Oh, Freya, no fine. I'm going to buy now. He's so nice and friendly. The moment I'm about the moon or for sending me or by Yama. Okay, I biogas penny. Okay. Or for sending me and no trust in you come on no man. No, I'm a born. No, I'm more pictures. Okay. Just say, I'm almost starting personal. Not the plumbing job was so bad. Okay. Because there was no washing machine. Okay. No sink. Just don't jump around here and you come out. Okay. But biogas, I think I try. I have on the work. Okay. And then we were Ghana. Okay. We were washing machine. Okay. I went to washing machine. Now I'm going to give me a moment gas. Okay. And you said the one Ghana, can hear you want to know. Yeah. And I will press the I will try Ghana. I will try Ghana. You want to design it. I had it here, Mamma. Oh, one check. Oh, I can't just so happy. Must have it here. Oh, yes. Oh, wow. I see. We see kind of chile. Okay. We see kind of man. More women to this over. You see kind of money. See kind of ones that will be down. Do them on the edge. Wow. Very good. Wow. Very good. Oh, okay. Very good. And then it's more bra. Oh yeah. And then it's more bra. And said no. Why am I sitting? sitting room, sitting room, arrangement, everything. I screen so you say, Nina, trust and believe in biogas. Oh, yeah, papa. Especially if workers are only so nice and friendly. And they go to workers in the back, who are my workers in the fee. Mr. Manyanisa, being workers in now, one more yada, and no more chance, mom to be a man. Yes, I mean, no more work retreat. Okay, my child over 38 years. Sure. Mom bread. Oh, mom, name bread power retreat. Now, Bessie. Only have customers come and I mean, 7 years saying, but Banetta said, well, okay. But with biogas. Sabrochle. Okay. Now, for non selling each animal, not choosing your pay. Okay. What is the kind of bar of Bayane? Come. Biogas. The best. The best.
Great folks, so just gone past. Ubino Udi Adance here. Ewo kwan fast so here in the kitchen kodo.
Biogas the best there.
Exactly.
Biogas indeed is the best.
Yes.
Sebastian Kishimawa, we are one of the best you can consider. And I say, Udria Kishi Yehun and our dem as you see say your wardrobe. If you cry inside tiling, say tile with them, and your normal tiles are your tower bounty.
The Ben Yabaya task on program kwadu.
Enche, yeah, you might be here, tiles, you might be here. Good. Any ball where we are, the video in Beba. See a better tile and a POP. I'm a war them. Yeah. Want to me here from my ye. The only thing say, yen, rough on a yeguma, we are all our business. I am Fiana. That's the only question you ask. Yeah. We now round them, our business, a few hundred media. Because I won't even know who Sabium, assistant. Say, Nife, say, Ebenya Botre, I ye be according to. Yes. You have no idea. Yeah. You have no idea. Yeah. Intisaya Kishia, no, you won't hold. Dear, Yayama, ye sister, ye mammy, ya denina, or do you want dance? The onupe and the Ayamano. Inti videos I was screen so. Yeah. So also pay the open over here from an what design that dano. And you said you wish your TV so one bet me Ayama. Yeah. What design? Walk a chrome walk of a no who near be the Ayo fair. But me a crap. No their money. Yeah. What the money a share? You bet designing to come as now. There's an yeah, you bet can add design. Oh, so when who will be there will come and add design. Okay. You bet can add designing. You design we are. Yeah. Now, ya way. Ya ye amau. Ya be kwako ye nti designer. You bet the best new. No one who. Say na design we then. Etie. Nti design we na ye the man who we are. Then ya way. A friend is saying. Yeah, who agree also. For example, so here we are. We obedient or that's new. Oh, okay. That's very beautiful. Or see any say, man. But you ain't mean any say because I take pictures in different angles. Oh, design to say, and they are design to say. Oh, and they are design to say. The top elevation, no. Nti mo de be kwa kwachire no ya send that I approve that oh wa approve we wa approve that the other send here no also pieces yes you join together nti anu nie wa ho send it here aha the other send am the here yeah ya design sir nti design say we are na ye dey send you ye dey send you nti the pictures ne the pictures I see yeah ye dey send you we are na wa ho send na etie nti pictures ne wa ho send it looks very beautiful they send you ye dey send you we are almost in a we are then we can take it from there. I see. They are in video. They are in video say I'm out. Until we share who can listen in a through FM bibia. We share no agree say okay then you are take measurement. Take measurement we are. Now also we ebe also say we get to then you do payment, then we proceed. And a payment in no a phrase boy you say you be one or 2 years can in album no. Yet to me what payment plan now. Oh, okay. Now what ya no. It's good you are saying this, Kojo. What you are crank. Ebia initial deposit no why na tonya man bia go nyama hu ya atawo. Yet to me club ye cabinet nyina to ho. Na ebia o discount ba na asa tonya man be na be fix fees wo mu. Kakra go ho na ya we sisi ya. Ya anti sana ya dwumade no ye de. Etie. Apart from we but mama asase yeah ya yen chefo from asase okay chefo from ya yen say obi wo ho pasase asidan wo so unfortunately rebia na onisika ba wo ka wo ho what you say
so you can trade in this car
wo ka wo ho nti wo ka wo ho na car no officer car ye mean use papa ki asefie
the value can
nti obotumi di aba na hwe car no value wa ho hwe car no value na onu kro bet me deposit and car no bet me atua asase ni car ma then you take it from there nti no ye hihye fufra ya apart from eno say be wo japade bia na wo car na wo exercise asase na wo trade for asase na wo so suska apart from eno no you sound another payment planner it will more better dia 1 year
I see
nti asase na bia asase no ye 200,000 300,000 600,000 it will more payment plan for a year nti say ye bia 600,000 no plot you divide in a year say and obetu ya every month bia and every 2 months bia nti 600,000 no over 600,000 now divided by 600,000 now divided by 12 on say every year bia no every year month bia no to be 50,000 nti say obapo now to bia say 200,000 at the end of the month no every month we to be 25,000 pay 25,000 every month and every 2 months bia no to 50,000 every 2 months every 3 months and I say my 1 year and I say 4 months you know then you know how you will structure yourself put me to guarantee ya sase tono ye his card ya ba no say ye his card no ye no but me atina say ai hihye ye nim say scan ho ye hihye na scan otua no kakran ade ye good one say asase ya ye kan wasam ye asase ya ye title land already enya fe na okokoto wi a okokoye registration no benya title no way a transfer keke na be yama then you are good to go the way you arrangement for fra ye wo ha obetumi abeto asase e bi that obetumi that traders asase no and I said the osika no uniska bok ebomu ye nim say scanning was see a ye ni obetumi atena say na I can say okay within 1 year no 12 months you can pay 8 months you can pay 6 months you can pay near structure no fair ma into time
you want one day no bit me comfortable
yes that is it then you pay it small every 1 year not 2 year then the following year you think about how can I develop this land development no buy a ho your architect ho your engineers ho they will look at the land look at the plan and then they will design it for you if you want so pay no the entire me stress on say wo sit there yes to me design it and say a flexible way of thinking and doing things. Obi sini dan ya do baby no say anka menyanka wo de bedroom bako ka ho. Anka menyanka kitchen wo ye ne say. Anka menyanka ahano wo de aba ha say. Because edan onyam planning ye, onyam designing ye. So you don't actually know what you are doing.
Tina Benezi dan ye sini dem ansa no.
Yes yes dan ya. Edan no matter how big the building is no. Ye may ho bia be say bia 4 months. Within 1 month you see dan nyina wie. Yes, we didn't want to visit the union because we be our paper so that we are following the paper. And yes, I feel that we begin on our side. We say, then I may you ha. No, we don't do things like that. Open say, oh yeah, they now call him up. Plan yourself. Plan, you know. Yes, say, who plan say, dino, say, I'm passing me, you know. 10 bedroom, I pay, 5 bedroom, I pay, 6 bedroom, I pay, 4 bedroom, I pay, 2 bedroom, I pay, depending on your strength in terms of finance. Then we take it from there small, progressively. You be see obehu na wasi den ase o de ma ho be say 4 years 3 years you pass you live for 70 years right according to your Bible say 70 years and if I say within 4 years out of your 70 years no and on working lives no 4 years out of it progressively you finish your house so na your investment and I save towards your retirement for 10 years now you say me your way now save towards that the same way you can do it small obo ho na wasi dan na yede awie sanity nti nye say ya asase no asase ye dia nti we are not rushing to take money but what
sounds good
ye rush say ye begi sika nti your payment plan e betumi dia mawo flexible term of payment obetumi atuya no flexibly kakran within some few months then you are done you are good to go nti asase samuso no asase no ye wasase East Legon, New Legon Hills. You was a say Spinters Road. You was a Sakumano last year show a dibia, a year obi accident was that. now opese oton
yes a dino ne assassin na bom
aha nti obetumi ahwe enu so wo ho obetumi afre wo frɛ a ebetumi ama wakɔ ho na woni gi ho a na wato basa dino de enye ye dia eye ni run de breye bi kaye nanum o wa ha enye media manton free ni ho onu de bre se ye ntoma no ye wo dan ye foforo ya sia wie aye 3 bedrooms 4 bedrooms story building aye ready for sale ope dan ya sia wie dada na waton so a ba chew akonya wo ho ye obi wo betumi abeton anu so obetumi aba discover na ye dia mawo waton fefe apart from East Legon Sakuma no any Legon Hills no yes some was say Central University side Uru Central University your friend with the new Airport City.
That's right,
the new Airport City a hon eba be develop as I say siepa estate into estate land no na ye start here ton sia estate land no na ye start here ton sia ade ye good kwaku e wo say ye to asase not me aye ntemo abeto be ni say obedi ye e wo asase mu nyina no e location so benya good location na bia wo de wo kwan nti wo bokwa homije mu kra no na wa ye oni mu nyina store na wo sifie no wo inside nti won to me mpie nkwadwuma amba no your store can save you ye we o get asase no kra we a wo de wo pa tunsi obemi no wo so na ma fo nto nsanso no emfasi omu dan wo betonsi o anye sika se wo dan abra wo se sika ye so benya asase ni sika na to asase wo to asase no we a dia aka no tunsi wo so ama fo ntonsi no ka ba betonsi wo ho na onu adi akọ twa block no de akọ sini dan no de ye plastering no de ye concrete kakran within 2 years masika obenya money obetuya obesi wo dan ya nti sanya ma we nyina ya de a yes yen fa ya dwenye den ekoso e na me kire se asase na ye to no enye se wo diska nyina beba asra beto debe betunye diska kakra aba kakra no na ya payment plan am for example say plan say new Airport City asase no a plot 150,000
I see
yes enye ska no boye di be 150,000 half 75,000 and we mienu betumi ato half no much de wo kwan ebe kwan no na 300,000 300,000 but ade ba ko no se ho no afi na ye demarcation no light na de ade nyina ebe ko ya ireti pillars poles no nyina wi dada poles side be distribution for light no ya hyehyɛ no nyina wo ho yes na se ya na ya me ba ho na enya start ye ba se ya ye no nyina wi a ye start demarcation ye kwan na de ade ase amanfo wo ko ho abot menya bebia fa akọ nti asase de ye wasase a new Airport City no wasase wo ho a ye flat land very nice place a obotumi aye dwuma bi opese wo ye bia no obotumi aye wo be airport nti enche na ye frɛ ho we frɛ say kwaku na wo ayin fa na wo fie o mi Airport City o pram mi airport residential area
entrance no kwan na ititi
yeah na ititi oh so ye free hand ye kwa ye driver 15 minutes or from here to that place 15 minutes na ye kwa Saturday ye kwa ye motor form wo de ni police form wo de ni straight na ye kwa yeah, passes ya nti asase sam no new development I want to say so wo car no person dey trade for asase a akonya ewo ho good me a trade wo car for land na be was so kakran apart from that so wo hia asase a dey betumi an say e betumi ma asase nya mo be 1 year payment plan then with ya divide scan for the year no na what ya be every month and every 2 months what you kakran sa ma ye dia wie say ye dan a ye tompo na oni gi hu so person to bia ye tini sa arrangement ne dey ma nti ne nyina ne say wo beba ne what na say ne ya di hu komo ahwe say den na ye ya ebeboa ye nso ne nyina ya tumi akoye nim say na ye nyina ye pe ade ba komi kade bia ne say so what will be rented apartment mo na time aso e bi kra no wo yire wo ma time aso na ye so tu free ho na wo niska wo be top up mbacho sa de no esi obi su mama muda nti ya bikaya na ye mi apa nti ebe hia say obia sasase no e quarter plot kra enye half quarter kra na boka say this is my living
exactly
bacho e so tumi ye ho adwuma sa e ho hia pa e so tumi ye ho adwuma sa kwako apart from asase fire call a friend say borehole start to borehole
all right MC am fire nko boho na kojo man boho no ho eyi
ade ba kwaku aye ma ho se Ghana for ye kan omu de akwa dwendwene mu binu special ye nuan mo wa brochire no mo wa Ghana ha especially soldier for ma me bia ko tu se mo no ye soldier ne nyasam ketwa ne mo bia yasam ketwa
soldier pa
the next house na next house the next neighbor o tu so nchini nko a nchini kwa bese 2 years no mun use you catch us don't worry you be drill e benyanso yo ma ya ko drill de nchini nim yes nchini nim yes nchini nim this week ni last week you drilling into your drilling is almost 15 boreholes yes 15 boreholes
hey
yeah 15 boreholes last week and this week so you are drilling now 15 boreholes and you are drilling now so you nyame aboase you nyanso papa because as say you on so tobre
sure
and no time kala say see how tie now
so now me bisa o say so tobre no e good say
yes e good nti e good pass season bia na de ye ya eye season bia na de ye eye aha area bi wo ho so to na ye tu nsuo a ye nyansuo no kama aha abi wo ho so a instead of say nsuo to no nsuo nto se na ye be ko no ye nko no sa ye say nsuo to no yes yenko more yenko less nsuo nto nti yes yenko less wow depending as I say information yes yenko less but nsuo to a yes yenko more as yansi papa no
that's right
what you say aha sanda dwumede no etie nti area bia wo ni se na wo form land formation here there etie ni kwan ye be fa so anyansi papa here there ama wo nti ade e bo say enua no mo amutie ya advert wa brochire wo Ghana ha enua no police force soldier for fire service for
obia fa Wuntumi
bi try say obetu aboa pa because ade American in say we another way of making money
exactly
water is life into obia be hianso so obedu nti so obia hianso so benu na wo so mantem wo wa na month for na a day kra na say month one ton so cloth so be 50,000 and 30,000 wo salary and do sir but 30,000 I said 28,000, 29,000 atunso no e mo so ask every month bia and I say from every month we 20,000 can 20,000 by the year it's 120,000 times 10 years nti enukra no obut bi dia bobra yes papa bia ye kwakọ ye ne de ene say o say mantem ho woni amanfo akasa nti e betunso ho nyina 8 boreholes o ho bi de ne say o de on person be ye far away from other people into two amana bel mu nti o di meter to so nti o di meter to so no o use nyina no already busume na watu ya no
so onu yama not meter to so
yes na so busume no na o tia
is it possible
no person ye ne say o be the way friend say gallon ebeba be fa say nsu nyamba ho
onu tu ama wo no the meter to so ama wo
yes nti e bia
di busume bia no we betia
o ye polytank na nsu no akogumu na adistributor ko amount for nti say instead of say over the gallon yellow abe sansio no e dia kono gallon yellow be sansio
connected pipes to all the homes
ama awie nti wo nyansio no nti the more obo use no ayi wo afi stress no dem obo fa gallon abe sansio and obo bi kro no kwa
it's a good business move
nti at the end of the day no what you a agreement kakran a business
it is
yes it is no for say ba ko bia ma no bia be say 15,000 a month for 15 times 8
efie bia busume bia no it is a Ghana water for supply issue
but because it's so nyamba hoye
sure
ti de omo ye ne say omo di your friend say omo di tanker sansio no and the chance e de ba and we obi so togu tank mu na wa ye den omo for be bunu gallon but e very stressful
we are not connected about fear ho
e very stressful there can you know say there were many ways you can make money a genuine way of making money stress free won bre wo ho enya fe na me ko fanya ma Africa China me ko fa we ya ba ha beto scout ko fanya ma Africa China what the tunsuo be say miensa e wo fie ho na man for sa you will make something of money that is loan is a good investment I tell you you see yama we ombu but what the fan say if you are to every month biano who turns be say 20,000 now was answer be say 4 oh you be say 4 if you na say me no every month you turns be say 40,000 multiply 40 every month 40,000 by the year it's about 220,000 it's about 220,000 I hear no bet me adi until the next year so 220,000 the following year so 200 a year down over 2 until within 4-5 years you know no one has come more than 2 million you can then go and buy treasury bill and make a lot of money as a return out of it
say venture and obi abetimi cry you say uwe area bi na nsuo ma u betimi afre na mo betu ama no
that is it
na afi mo my distribution dia am crofo area no
instead of say enye say oboko akọ
connected pipes
obi afie bra e bia wo atwen dia akọ advantage area obi abotumi abesa ho nti anopa no na wo obi oti ho nti the more almost answer no na no so gine sika opo no aloki na akọ
simple
nti polytank no nsuo no wo mu osoro dada na what line no a distribute advantage places nti nipa no ba no so gina ho na wabie na agumama no wa aloki watu aka 2 cities 5 cities no akọ 5 cities no akọ 5 cities no akọ 5 cities 5 cities 5 cities
of money
nipa obia use nsuo na fie anipa mienu miensa o mu use nsuo 5 cities 1 ton to club to 20 cities a day yes bet 20 cities a day the 20 cities a day no calculate by a month 30 days no 2 times 3 it's about 600 cities 600 cities or 600 or 6,000 I don't know, it's a lot of money nti we nyina no say pay attention to it o asase na otu nso mienu wo so asase sa ansio no obetumi use sanso na se wodan obetonye ska se wodan nti de make pack anyene no say there's another side of drilling water the business side
god
the business side enu na me ni wo edi hu komo sisi a se obetumi atu nsuo e de aye money making machine enye se oye pure water nkwa na obetumi nyeska debi ana onye se oye bottle water kwa na obetumi nyeska debi sa borehole amafo abesanu kakra is another way of making good and sweet, I say sweet money.
That's right.
Because it's stress free.
Yeah.
We are not doing anything. One for playing enko ba playing wusu sa onko do China.
I'm trying kasa wabre.
Yeah. I'm trying kasa wabre. Nti ade me pa kan say wotie me a bacho. Obotumi ne ya adwea is a good business idea. Obotumi ayuzo. Dodo na eye kanyina no amanfo tie say preduasa all the way into from now follow idea you say that is something which is very feasible obotumi aye ho adwuma mana aye yie nti baby o tie frem pache numbers obotumi afre so wo fie o pese tu nsuo ma o ana se wo dan kra no pese esi ma o ana se kitchen cabinet no pese enya ma o ana se adwuma bia fa dan si ho ana nsuo tu ho bia no obotumi afre pache numbers 0555 893001 0555-893001 and I say 0546 20 53 77 0546 20 53 77 and the numbers are free nobody who come but also was I say no advantage place now wo ni sika se and so never so be develop and I know you be develop am about me contact here you know better na say document wo ho na ye wo dia nko a you know better na say na aka ya ye be develop na ya tena say ahose na ye be ye arrangement no be assassin wo bia especially e was spin test e was sakuma no e was trazako or come the 25 tema those areas are ye because customers are muto nyama wo ye ho no be bia e be krom and in terms of security. Security is very important to them. Road network is important. And environmental one, nipa trying to share is very important because environment be able to be or effect on you. Until the ebeka nyina say oti yenka na nyama ye kan ohia bia mpacho frey ye ni obedi nkomo na ya de bia atoye. Beku me da say.
Good one. Asampayeti na kodwama ni simple sano. Niamo kekan na no ho ye kanade bia o na ba ku bia na kododi aka ho amamia quite striking no eye boho no ho asem because bebre eti area bia muna mo bre obia bre mukọ akwensin didi ho ansama kwose nsuo di aba how enti nipa ba ko anamienu monka mo ho enhia na monfre kodwuma ne mbetu nsuo we area nem na yen connect pipes nko say efie ni nemu mfa meter ntoano posumi bia na motua ama nipa o yes our connection wo na wo yes ano kan national say you are walking into your blessing of what millionaire muhuza we nyem paye bubi ni dede ni here baba ne sa kind of lekususu tonzo a real money making also for no kra no advice so sir but we'll sit here and we'll give you some immediate what do you say? Just utilize it. Naturally, being young couple do ABC. What would they make sure, folks? You didn't come over me. Could you be here? Could you send numbers in no WhatsApp? So yes, I
don't know WhatsApp. So great. Kuna onya ya. Na so frame and line your water. Would you get your voicemail? Would you have voicemail? I know, but didn't come. We'll reply you or we'll call you.
Wonderful.
Na ya didn't come. Na die here say be yet no, but Tobiano.
That's right.
We will do it.
Great. Kojo is there for all of us. Yes, selective. Everybody, both here and abroad. Now, Obama, very good services are Wangasi Weni Sube Junior. But could you be see a short break me bar? Ghana Speaks takes off with all the issues you know about the embattled Chief Justice Getrude Torkonu, and then the man currently Wuntumi na Wuntumi so ni ahwe nsem ni na. I'll be right back.
Yeah, Peku. Let me say ya bro time.
Hello, welcome. Thank you. Sure. I'm interested in buying a plot of land. Seeing your ads online, decided to pass by and come check it out myself. Doing business without seeing real offices these days is kind of really stressful.
What is your budget range?
Spending about 50 to 70,000 Ghana cedis.
Wow, luckily we have a plot of land here going within that range. Actually, at Getrude.
Oh, great. And how's the payment plan?
We have an initial deposit of 20%, outright payments, 3 months payment, 6 months payment, and 9 months payments. With the outright and 3 months, we give you 1 triple stone and 1 triple sand.
Oh, wow, interesting. Sure. And I think I'll go for the 3 months payment. When can I go view the site?
Every Saturday 10 a.m. is site viewing.
Then I think we are good to go.
That's fine.
That's nice. Thank you. Nice doing business with you.
Find your dream property with Aura Black Star Limited. Visit us today and let our expert team guide you home.
You can contact us on 030-2452-555, 030-2452-555. Our website at www.aurablackstarlimited.com. Aura Black Star, your preference, our priority.
Great, folks. Welcome back. Just at about 48 minutes gone past the hour. 8. This is the Frontline Show, Ghana Speaks. Folks, Mami Yadi, we quick one. This is a birthday. I say, me bay. I know, yes. A happy birthday, belated one. I mean, can I say belated happy birthday, Emma Hannah Louisa. Belated happy birthday, Hannah Louisa na Dakwa. Or say you are at the Venice Methodist Church Junior Choir Nazareth Society of Mamprobi Circuit. Yes. Oh no, that screen is pretty. Hannah Louisa na Dakwa. Yes, our Methodist Church Junior Choir Nazareth Society of the Mamprobi Circuit celebrating the birthday. The birthday ni etwemudi ananso eseme yema no papa. Ne wofa and all celebrating the birthday. The good Lord grants you good health, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in all your endeavors. From your uncle Kofi Atta Kakra Kusi, Deputy Director, Corporate Affairs, Ghana Tourism Authority. I'm Uncle Kofi Atta Kakra, right? Kakra Kusi, Deputy Director, Corporate Affairs, Ghana Tourism Authority. And Oyede or celebrity belated birthday ama ne niece we. Yes, Hannah Louisa Dakon. Yes. And folks, there no AC one now. Let's come on the whole stuff. And then young queen. Now, can say ye na yenim na see ye bohu de rusu. Etra say the Vice President of this Republic, Professor Jenano Opoku-Agyeman, arrived in the country and now, of course, on her official duties now. Vice President, did they be ye? Mami wabeka yensa. Asofwa shenkom. Asofwa na mukasa kasa hon. Ubisi mi shenkom na anono. Ubisi na mi yese. Enturo enada akoshifuo enabrabafuo. Onyankopon edi Vice President and Professor Jenano Opoku-Agyeman wabeka yensa kyerɛ sɛ enei said the word damping phobia se enemane adeade omampini no aso ho ne adeade ne Ghana fo ina se ampa onyankopon edi na afofie di na ba minim se Ghana de na uhwe mu am about 99% of Ghanaians ina ne ye bompa se ye ma me Professor Jenano Opoku-Agyeman oba be ka Ghana ye nsana neoma aiden akoye. Take a listen to a bra or damping for ase shortly after say Obibidru Ghana. Listen to this.
I want to say thanks to God. His mercies have been infinite as always, and I'm very grateful. I express gratitude to the medical staff too, for seeing the right thing, for making the right proposals. And to my boss, that day, I don't know where you appeared from, but he came and quickly set in motion what we needed to do. And I also want to thank all of you, your prayers, for your good wishes. I can't be thankful enough. I'm very grateful. But I need to isolate, beyond family and friends, your brother, Mr. Ibrahim. He stopped at nothing to ensure that I had what I needed. And then he also came to the hospital. He came to sit by me, and that was healing by itself. So, my little boss, I'm very, very grateful. So I'm very happy to be back. And there's so much that has happened that we all need to do. And I know that with our collective will, we'll do much more for our country.
Great. So, Vice President, Professor Jenano Pokwajman Wabeka Yensama, Bibia ya kama inti, Empire bia no bi bo said Daniel, said beya nasam no bebemu, said Daniel, or my back one more yempa de pa, nipa nie. Ha! Ayo only boni pe only nyoma sinful things pe, ena we glorify, and nyoma ya boni ebesi. Na yakana ne ho yehu ade a just a bad news bad news NAC and ono no kan and ono no ye se ne ade you see nipa ben ye just say empempu to ho ma ti Ghana de ye urade osofo ben obetimi osofo bi eni Ghana se mu be deliver ho ma ti Ghana so no mo politicians ya frakadam for nko a for criminals and thieves. As of one as a habai. Don't want politicians and bear 10% to be dean pom wasem. As of one also the 99. Well, yesterday in the afternoon, Bernard Ntribuesiakon, popularly known as Wuntumi, was rearrested and detained at the office of Yoko Enra. Papa ya kwasi di ho kudini nkomo de bibia totona adetana kwam komodieni na akokọ so fine boni bie ni na kwam around that time boni bie ni wodan ho ye se wo kwa hey kakra ba na yokofo so yokofo so be jira se he wo han ni hwe no hu se na Jack ade no Wuntumi ampa enra na ohun se edin no na ense se wo fa se edin no Woma Wuntumi so share pick up him. Nancy Wuntumi and say Wuntumi ampa ye no kudru yuko. Yenhwe de esikoko bae ba Rambo se men kan chese munyai ni dimpo. Sa Rambo star no o se munyai na mom breye. Take a lesson to Wuntumi in the pickup.
Yes sir. Yes sir.
The boss.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The boss.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The boss. Adaji ni posusa o. There be obi antwen obi a o. There be. Nti Rambo de. Rambo aye na dwuma wie. Ghana de ekoso anenye Rambo. No. Ena Wuntumi nka say Jackie Chan ne hwanhwan. No. Ya ha de na nye movie so. I had the AC Ghana. And your movies, so it's a real event, so. And your Rambo, and then your Jackie Chan, and your Huawei. A real, is real. Well, some party supporters yesterday night besieged the premises of Yoko. Said the about 70 years, you heard their course over. Take a listen to this.
What kind of blood is that? What is this? What kind of blood? We are going to.
Let me make this quick analysis easy. And then I'm Mrs. Tebi, Mrs. Owusu, Ghanaian based in London but currently in Ghana. Or share program. Mrs. Owusu, I want to say queer in himself here. I hope so much light and also. Now, uni my dear. Share Adia Mami or no I saw on a spotlight in a torn so I ye did or on near. Plus demonstrators so and I yankas supporters a co on near day. But I mean as a supporter who was supporting NDC and MPP menko by Muni Madibi. Show a briar che Wuntumi no Yimbisa say Wuntumi ma womuya do was saying Wuntumi sabe ne yere no me saying what I do know is a Wuntumi yere no womuya say mienu yes ah enra ne yere no mu mienu no womu de hin na mu hu om so mu lead demonstration and as mu lead the charging crowd no yere no no omo hin fa sabe omo hin omo Ghana ha omo Kumasi and omo Accra hin fa no mu ne yere no no do send e ba grounds to honum. Asema debia and ewie kra na me ne Mrs. Ozuye di sa nkomo. Na asema make na say on here. And sometimes Ghana for na your fault and your fault no, but winim. This is how your politicians want you to be. Okay? The politicians of this our nation always and at all times would want to see say the citizenry are impoverished. The citizenry will not be wise. The citizenry will not wake up to what time is it. No. Our politicians all the time. Yeah. Because yeah. That's why it is so easy at all times. Adebiara ensese Ghana for kobo chenku hono womo mom ho so hey MPP mumiatingu monteso na nya sa eje Wuntumi ebro no tete radio station TV station all the den all brandish gold bars no mani ade no no see yes a demonstration of power one day ohono wa mo MPP din o all demonstrating the power of what gold. Now what you said you were to me and he said you were sika obo udinka ho wa mo udianka ho ebra Wuntumi demonstrate say Ghana han na sika fo no wono wodi mo akwete na sefo no obo udinka ho wa mo udin ono ani party MPP kro wa mo mudin yeah ba wum say ebra asem to no ya hwehwe no a so tito wiem o kwaye mo esire mipo menuam ensuo mo ya hwehwe na ye hunu de wokunya baby gina say Ghana for mumre o Ghana for ana wante MCA do I have the tape there ebra o demonstrate say yeah or the NDC for ebeba number 5 or say a demonstration of power in about few minute days after elections. Wuntumi no team Ghana for MPP for mumno muntina yeyem say unsa feed now. He's calling for what? Your sympathy. But the question you should be asking, me the Ghana for me come ne kra kire mu. Say what trust na ubi sa won say, hey. Politician tibia wo komi. Ebra na wo enjoy na mimi gina he. Ehimfa na common knowledge say nyame na me ka kire wo. But na ewie na me ka kire me sisters say ekuye. Sa na obehunu o say politicians ne create adwuma ama Ghana for so omunya obeti akwagyina street so wo demonstrate eno na how impoverished eno na how destitute eno na emobo a my Ghana ye because say ya chief politician were London, ya chief politician were Europe, Amsterdam, ya chief politician were Germany, Italy, and ya chief politician were America, Memu. Ana global south China ya de ne ko ne nipa wo man nya sorry say ye ko demonstration wo eyi na betinye sima na ye dabi bin sida wo mu adwuma yo no nya na adwuma yo medi wo politician echi ebra wo di sika na mudi sika no edi bi di ma to talk cars e dan nem ne ade no wato bi ama onto bi ma nti wo ko gina ho den said and rami hu ya no mgu yoko headquarters we yes ye wo nipa okwa hu hiehie mu a utumi ko eco solidarize with of course why not ye onipa ye hu wadamfo den utumi ko solidarize ukoma ne support but nye ebra politics no mu ye no ya ma opposi bia ma osika ni bi ma wani o wo se ma sori jame ma ho obi ejane ma ho obi ejane kunu obi ejane yiro na wo ko ye ne de ade bo utiri mu prawa and also na be a talking point e wo Ghana when the bay and MPP NDC mu be jai sa anema we Wuntumi, the Wuntumi of yesterday and Wuntumi of today. Nebisa said, in the Wuntumi of yesterday, now what can be? Listen to this.
Yeah, but the NDC for crowd that's 8 now say you know. Remember my free one by 7 and that's 6. I'm telling you to show the strength and the power.
A few moments later.
Because they said the one we never have president in T. We Ghana need you. Ghana for Musorio. Ghana for Musorio. And before you know Musorio. And before you know Musorio. And you Munti and a Mahama MC. Be vice president to that. Me, my don't board to that. Me, my DCO da. Me, my minister da. Aya chairman in Amidu. And I want to make campaign in Mammy. I'm my campaign in Mammy party. And I'm a year Juma 2013. We are tired of the boom, Juma. Mubaye, my topping my Juma, my count to pa, me did you was one. Me, my count to pa, me did you was one. Cemetery, my school fees, a crab by a ding. What I said, most of them won't start to my count to so, and you know, Nasabi, me, sick a bite, sick a bane at the time.
Great, and in ye. Enti mi bisa se ukoye dede ohwa ne se me no me ka we dey protect wo Ghanaian no se we NDC ni se we MPP ni me emfa me ho because me ma catch me ye non align but my point is that so be jai politicians mo ma drama a jam no mo drama unu bi na ye chi no a na wo kwa support na fair deal but your politicians no me pese me cho so wo mo nwe hu peace a o and wa solidarize it. As of Enrana Juno, let us see whom be a Wuntumi wafa. Later, information surfaced that Wuntumi has been hospitalized. So his lawyers, of course, pursued him to the hospital to check on him. The lawyers no ko say hospital no dano. Saying ena ne hono esi do no fa no say na ne omeko into omoko hospital omoko and then they see or take a lesson to Wuntumi's lawyers.
So we are still here looking for Chairman Wuntumi because they don't know where the CID people took him when they said they rushed him to the hospital. They were his lawyer, his brother, that's Chairman Wuntumi's brother, were in the black and white with gents, and we are just going around to see where kept Chairman Wuntumi. Stay tuned. Wuntumi's father standing here, and his lawyer coming is Wuntumi's brother, and his lawyer is the one coming. We are still looking for Wuntumi. We are here at the DNI hospital. We went to the military hospital, like I told you earlier, 37, and we have still not found him. Yes. So that's it. We are leaving. Yes, so we are going back. We didn't find. So we are leaving here, and as you can see, we came here we couldn't find Wuntumi, so we are leaving. Yes.
Great. But I kind of figure say by now they should be able to find where Wuntumi is. Now, my main message was very, very instructive. Kwabena Ampofo said, I say, African politicians intentionally create poverty in order to control the masses. Kwabena, I tend to agree with you. So, Dumo Mudianio, Maka Semia Kaka say, Ghana ne si one. Me say, MPP in Kwabe team do 4 years it developing Ghana and NDC my vice versa the NDC, but they won't do it. They won't do that. One more a system whereby all of us will become subservient beggars for. We must always beg for something as if then that we are not entitled. No. And as soon as we vote them into power, then they become little gods over our heads. Now say no more guys are no maybe na chakaneno woman nam kromu brandishing here and there. Do you know me? Do you know who I am? And that's how makasa finsano. But in a few hours ago, Honorable Canadian Hine Japan also tried to figure out the location of Wuntumi. No so kwa no ohun bibia Wuntumi wana Canadian Japan so tisimu so kwa no say no so kwa no hu niam. Take a listen to him.
Honorable, what by you can pay what by you was answer by any come almost a day. I was where now if I almost say for the whole hospital in the Japan and no pay by no say time and up in the Emra between 3 and 4 and more trip and maybe you do a balance also on the whole hospital. My friend, the Payamcaso Hospital, no, say, what dear, a chance, Emma, young Queno, oh, baby, one of young, yes, Omodinabaha, and it is that is here, but we are by no, for my young chair, say, or her nurse, the mom say time, this is the hours now. You should come between 3 and 4. And no, now, you be 2 years, you may do your swan, yes, I catch you, say, you know, oh, okay. Honorable, actually, one more actually Wuntumi, lawyer and Yakubi. Actually, Wuntumi, and you know, any MPP at the top will be a camera, I say, a buying by what time would they as one was within our come out? You, minimum near Mecca. He said, minimum India, India, NDC, a tata, minimum. I be a maker, my disappointed here. MPP for Nyankasa, and then I read 2 videos. Alex Tete and the former chairman. You know, say assemble a party and you one. Na your personal problems are your work. A day better pointing a divided party. I am why because saying this be winning a unity. Your parliament. And maybe honorable to force and court. NDC for no red. Now my boycott to parliament. Homo court to and son Omaba. I don't know what has become of us. So we MPP ni power be obi pentino obi ehuba sema ni jubility. Emwe sema corner anas see a money 18 million next so am buy no kra na MPP for money thumbs up.
Meanwhile, I defended MPP. What do you say? And they won't tell us about Oshe party for Alex Tete, me go for one casa. Call the Mechi will be a fee, say, near all you know, come. And yet, and you may be a poor party. Puma, a Korean party, solidarity. And you know, so I am born so. Can you believe, sir? Obi Bisam said, Argentina, maybe anti-corruption crusader. Na honorable Amidu Konfi, may they die a command bail. Bail, and say, we're guilty. What do you say? Until so very guilty, no. We're entitled to bail or be coffee in your castle. And the master of the Yania MPP for internal politics, no, ye take party, no, and when you are better opposition. See, and changes as Maui, na Yama Kuriyama, Yansia, Sanyana, NDC 4 years. At the end, I just out of forcing Odibim and I would default. But so Odibim also default. They rally behind him. What do you say? The mess party. Great, folks. So, Honorable Kennedy Ohine Japan, also echoing where who maybe Wuntumi. But of course, we are learning tonight. Say Wuntumi has been granted bail of 50 million, yes, sort of 50 million surety. Pending say yes, there's more things that Wuntumi would be facing as far as the charges are concerned, folks. And you may be bringing a year follow up tonight at Nina Ebebro. Togbe Amega, I say his workers and girls should go and demonstrate. Godwin adore fully. I say, my brother, thank you so much for your education. May God bless you. And loads of messages. Togbe Amega, I say, if this not doing so, Galamse or road demonstration, I am sleeping. Okay. And Kwabena Ampofo, African politicians intentionally creates poverty in order to control the masses. Yes. We so say Kwadamfo also say wo bowa chama Wuntumi wo bowa, no condition is permanent Wuntumi, and okeka means say yemra when saying my memra also say hallelujah, praise God. And patro no mpaya ben yebuya lekusu ana lekusu di any be whichever way. Mame Boatma, how are you? What is saying? Also now best send a message, my main who message you know. Internet me try message you know me friend say WhatsApp line so send a message no na ye nim common. Why? Good one. Folks, maybe a short break. Me ba after we go into them battle suspended Chief Justice. As someone is atu Chief Justice no, I know what in here. But me say Kamia Chemeka say, Mami Chief Justice, suspended Chief Justice. As some way say obey trustwa, Mami Getrude. Because the more former Chief Justice ne battle in the way no, the more enyoma AP no, ebiya sefemankasa. Folks, don't you flip. Me cut short break me ba. The former Chief Justice Getrude Torkonu is the next on the bill. I am Kwekwan and I'll be right back.
Hello, welcome. Thank you. Sure.
I'm interested in buying a plot of land. Seeing your ads online, decided to pass by, come check it out myself. Doing business without seeing real offices these days is kind of really stressful.
What is your budget range?
Spending about 50 to 70,000 Ghana cedis.
Wow. Luckily, we have a plot of land here going within that range. Actually, at Getrude.
Oh, great. And how's the payment plan?
We have an initial deposit of 20%, outright payment, 2 months payment, 6 months payment, and 9 months payment. With the outright and 3 months, we give you 1 triple stone and 1 triple understand?
Oh, wow, interesting. Sure. Then I think I'll go for the 3 months payment. When can I go view the site?
Every Saturday, 10 a.m. is site viewing.
Then I think we are good to go.
That's fine.
That's nice. Thank you. Nice doing business with you.
Find your dream property with Aura Black Star Limited. Visit us today and let our expert team guide you home.
You can contact us on 030-2452-555. 030-2452-555. Our website at www.aurablackstarlimited.com. Aura Black Star, your preference, our priority.
Welcome back, and of course, this is the Frontline Show. Ghana Speaks Extension. I'm now. But let me go through these messages. I say, Arthur Gregory, I say, it is rather better to live poor and clean than being rich and corrupt. Wow, what a thought-provoking message. Ima Asar, I say, I think it's too late for Mrs. Torkonu to resign. Really? Anyway, Nyame ye, or say good evening, Kweku. Nyame, I hope so. Also, papa. Yes. So, Mami mo tape in draw, I think before close of day, the committee, chaired by Justice Scott Pwamwan, Omukotna Mami Asemuso. As of Enra, not this embattled Chief Justice Getrude Torkonu, no file an interlocutory injunction, say, my crime committee in Transemnoso. Or citing may be brain, of course, citing at a point suggesting that yes, the committee, the bills of the committee and seeking to injunct the committee members ni bi near the koye nsem bebre no money ade so and I just say the suspended Chief Justice Getrude Torkonu mounted this spirited pushback at the committee, citing abuse in removal process, seeking to halt the committee's probe and then now, and I agree, as I've said already, with the politics of today. Tonight, we explore the epistle of Martin Alamisi Ben Kaiser Amidu on the suspended Chief Justice Getrude Torkonu. Now, Martin Amidu do some explosive bombs be good for my wording, but the move go through. But committee new proceedings, my meaning some more deco in your bonina to go. Take a listen to the suspended Chief Justice and then her husband making their way out of the committee premises. Watch this.
Hello. Yeah, the Supreme Court has just dismissed the application injunction filed by the suspended Chief Justice. You see Madam Getrude Torkonu walk out of court at the moment together with the husband and the lawyer. Godfrey, see if you can get a word from the Chief Justice, who is just about to board her car together with the police details, and the case having been dismissed by the court, she's just boarded the vehicle and together with the husband. Hello. Yeah, the Supreme Court has just dismissed the application injunction filed by the suspended Chief Justice. You see Madam Getrude Torkonu walk out of court at the moment together with the husband and the lawyer. Godfrey, see if you can get a word from the Chief Justice, who is just about to board her car together with the police details, and the case having been dismissed by the court, she's just boarded the vehicle and together with the husband.
Folks, so the Supreme Court wana Mami Free Bay zone na committee edio mudjuma na mani ade na just in fact I've been very sad the whole day this morning. They say Imre Meraho ama mami pa. But you see, yenhwe bibi ye wo wiase kakra na nipa momyemfa ye ho tutu ye ho fo. Hwe ebra mami no wo Chief Justice wom. Niema bebre kwaso a mami Getrude Torkonu ankoyi. Hwe Africa fo ye subi ne ye ban bi asesi an ye twa na ye hwe you do me and I will do you. Minim se mami no de ekono ne ni nye kura o. Woni ni kunu woma say ankonambi no, but yempo mamene was serving in the capacity as what the third person in command when it comes to this nation's democratic process. But sana mo se mo pese mo ye mo man no Emmanuel Tavia, I say God bless you watching from live from Techiman. Ima, minim say ohun ye pa Irajwa I also work I say good evening kweku. Yes. Bibia come. Well, my executive producer Yamba just joined me. We are about to go into this epistle, 6-page document, epistles of Martin, Alamisi, Ben Kaiser, Amidu, and a Troy. Nansembena or the Ebetuda. Yao joins me shortly. Menini go through. Then we'll give you a very crystal analysis of Martin epistles. Now what you're going to Yao. What is it? We power to the people. Exactly, folks. Ahano ye antem no until each Ghanaian biano will have the power no. And no way to money at yes, intino 6-page. I'm going to read 3-page yao. Yamba sube kind 3-page, and I'm sure say be wasuneti asama pape ediabeto or title, and it's going to be on the screen. You will make analysis of the whole thing. Ozem, the respondents in a removal petition cannot waive the right to in camera proceedings and also annulled the process by Martin ABK Amidu. And that screen is on it. Tiasma Martin Debao. Also, it is interesting to hear and read a former Attorney General Godfred Yeboah Dame, also known as Telephone Man. Minim se Godfred. Yeah, unim se Godfred ni telephone man. Minim Martin Amidu. And yes, Gito. Hey, meaning say Godfred Dean back on a telephone man. Anyway, he saying disingenuously and with tongue in check that he opposes calls for proceedings relating to the removal of his clients. Chief Justice Mrs. Getrude Torkonu to be held in camera on grounds of transparency due to the intense public scrutiny she has already endured as though proceedings for the removal of justices of the Superior Court under Article 146 of the 1992 Constitution can be held otherwise than in camera under the 1992 Constitution. In fact, Martin in this epistle cited a number of constitutional articles, of course, that make quite sense to, the argument. He goes on to say, the reader ought to be reminded before proceedings further with this discourse that Article 146, Clause 8 of the 1992 Constitution on the removal of justice of the Superior Court and chairman of regional tribunals, including the Chief Justice, unequivocally mandates that, quote, all proceedings under this article shall be held in camera, and the justice or chairman against whom the petition is made is entitled to be heard in his defense by herself or by a lawyer or other experts of his choice, unquote. Godfred Yeboah Dame, aka Telephone Man, cannot, as a former Attorney General, be oblivious of the fact that the Supreme Court considered and decided on the meaning of scope of Article 146 Clause 8 of the Constitution in 3 previous cases, the last being the case of Derry versus Tiger IPI and others, in which the court stated as follows, quote, what is the true intent and purpose of these provisions? Is it limited in its terms? What is the extent of the limitation, if any? The true intent is not in dispute. It is to protect the integrity of the judiciary, the personal reputation of the judge under investigation, and it is also aims at protecting potential witnesses from some form of recrimination. The reasons for confidentiality could be endless, but integrity of the administration of justice is at the center, unquote. Martin to us will say, the Supreme Court concluded after considering the 2 previously decided cases as follows, quote, the rights of the people were merely postponed for a time lest the purpose of Article 146 Clause 8 should be defeated. We would emphasize that these clear constitutional provisions must be respected by the intent and purpose are not to be rendered nugatory, which is to keep the proceedings private and confidential, unquote. It is unethical and dishonorable, therefore, to reframe the clear constitutional mandate on the hearing of proceedings for the removal of Superior Court justice to give the impression to unsuspecting public that someone or a group of persons are calling for the hearing of the petitions to remove the Chief Justice by the committee appointed by the President to inquire into the complaints in camera for political purpose, while hearing can permissibly be open to the public. The provisions of Article 146 Clause 8 are so clear and are unambiguous that the committee appointed under Clause 6 and 7 to inquire into the petitions and recommended to the President whether the Chief Justice ought to be removed from office would be violating its mandate to hold a public hearing in respect of any of the petitions pending before it. Consequently, the call for Godfrey Dame, also known as Telephone Man, can only rationally be attributed to the continuing attempt to politicize or otherwise simply constitutional process. Otwas was it set in motion to determine whether or not the complaints contained in the petition seeking the removal of the Chief Justice from office can be vindicated or are unmeritorious. City News reported the grounds on which Godfrey Dame argues for the constitutional provisions to be subverted by a public hearing as follows. Quote, "It cannot be a secret. There ought to be a light on the proceedings because she has already been damaged in the public domain," unquote. Dame stated, underscoring the importance of fairness and openness in the process. In one fell swoop, Godfrey Dame, Telephone Man, is prepared to subvert the Constitution of Ghana to score political points and is wiser than the framers of the 3rd and 4th Republican Constitution. See Article 128 Clause 1 of the 1979 Constitution and Article 146 Clause 8 of the 1992 Constitution, already quoted supra in paragraph 2 respectively. The provisions of the 3rd Republican Constitution 1979, which was adopted verbatim by the 4th Republican Constitution 1992, departed from the provisions under Article 116 Clause 4 and 5 of the of the 2nd Republican Constitution 1969, where the mode of hearing was not strictly circumscribed and therefore open to debate. Or to us say, the framers of the 3 Republican Constitutions of Ghana had also made provisions for the removal of the President from office, which show that the framers of the Constitution purposefully used the words, quote, "The tribunal shall inquire in camera whether there is a prima facie case for the removal of the President," unquote, and, quote, "The proceedings in Parliament for the removal of the President shall not be held in camera except Parliament otherwise orders in the interests of national security," unquote. See Article 69 Clause 4 and 12 of the 4th Republican Constitution 1992 for the words quoted, and Article 56 Clause 4 and 12 of the 3rd Republican Constitution 1979 and Article 47 Clause 3 and 6b of the 2nd Republican Constitution for the words in pari materia as those of the 1992 Constitution. The injunction that proceedings under Article 146 of the 1992 Constitution must be held in camera was therefore purposefully and not an omission to be filed by judicial activism. I have been following and tracking closely the initiation of the process to remove the Chief Justice from office I was definitely worried and displeased to have read a press release issued by the Minister for Government Communication on 25th March 2025 stating inter alia that, quote, President Mahama consults with the Council of State on 3 petitions to the Council of State to commence the consultative process by Article 146 of the 1992 Constitution. Quote and unquote. I agree entirely with the repository by Mr. Sam Okudjato on Thursday, 27 March 2025, when he stated on Joy FM's top story, quote, let me emphasize that this should not have been publicized when I was on the council. We felt it was wrong for a petition of this nature to be made public when submitted to the President and forwarded to the Council of State. It is only when the Council and the President concluded that a prima facie case has been made that publicity should follow. I think this is a wrong approach, unquote. Fortunately, the content of the petitions were not disclosed by the press statement of the Minister for Government Communications. But on the same day, Thursday, 27 March 2025, the New Patriotic Party's Member of Parliament for Old Tafo, Vincent Eko Asifwa, through his lawyers, Dame and partners, filed an action in the Supreme Court at 9:20 a.m. and according to the reportage of Joy FM, that the MP made this known on his social media platforms, sharing a copy of the writ filed at the Supreme Court. On Thursday, March 27, 2025, his suit follows the President's announcement made through the Minister of State in charge of Government Communications, Felix Kwachi Ofosu, and 3 petitions demanding the removal of Chief Justice Getrude Torkonu would be referred to the Council of State for consultation, quote and unquote. Folks, 3-page in Amakan Yao will take over no so read 3-page in Yavia na Yamao ye summary na afie de nyome eko yenim yeah, me continue from here, right? Okay, so me twas was say Godfred Dame is the immediate past Attorney General under whose watch Mrs. Getrude Torkonu afi Martin Rizi serious issue how tiha or say Godfred Dame is the immediate past Attorney General under whose watch Mrs. Getrude Torkonu was proposed by the NPP government to the Judicial Council nominated by President Akufo-Addo, approved by Parliament and appointed as the Chief Justice by the President. When I read the writ filed on behalf of Vincent Asifwa by Dame and partners, I felt that a simple petition for the removal of the Chief Justice had taken a political turn by the involvement of Godfred Dame, Yeboah Dame, the immediate past Attorney General. In the affray, the rate was immediately followed with an application for an interlocutory injunction to stop the processes brought about by the petition for the removal of the Chief Justice. Godfred Dame has every right, theoretically, to represent who he wishes after ending his tenure as Attorney General on 6 January 2025. But every previous Attorney General worth the name knows that public perceptions and opinions are particularly key factors to consider immediately upon leaving office into private life. When in 2001, the late Professor Kofi Awono came to see me in the company of the late Victor Salome to ask me to represent him in his pending criminal trial, I politely refused to do so for purely strategic, tactical reasons of my representation as a lawyer in his criminal case, not having an influence on the public perception of his case as involving the NDC government. I had met Victor Salome at the VVIP Lodge as his lawyer on the instruction of President Rawlings when he arrived from the United Kingdom on a British Airways flight and was arrested by the Bureau of National Investigations, BNI. Victor Smith initiated the call to me to speak to former President Rawlings. That was when I earned the name Shadow Vice President. For those who remember the incident, I appreciated he wanted me to continue to represent him in court. I did not think doing so as the immediate past Deputy Attorney General and running mate to the NDC presidential candidate for the 2000 elections would serve his best interest and the government. We both served, but Godfrey Dame was not directly representing the Chief Justice, but Vincent Asefua, the NPP Member of Parliament for Old Tafo, and the public may well understand that this was not a conclusive suit, with the Chief Justice lacking on scene in the background. On the same day, 27 March 2025, the Chief Justice, Mrs. Torkonu, was also reported on Joy FM as requesting a fair opportunity to respond to the allegations against her before further steps are taken, stating inter alia, quote, I am by this letter humbly and respectfully asking His Excellency the President and eminent members of Council of State to forward the petitions against me to me and allow me at least 7 days after receipt of same to provide my response to you, which response can then form part of the material that you conduct and consultations anticipated under Article 146 Clause 6 before possible setting up of a committee of inquiry under Article 147. Folks, this is quite pretty fascinating development. Yeah, what do you make of Martin Yakin Kanwe shortly before you go on yours?
Well, he's raised a lot of issues pertaining to regarding the Chief Justice. Yeah. And he is of the view that the former Attorney General, Godfrey Dame, should have declined the opportunity to represent the Chief Justice. And he's also of the view that those who are calling for the petition to be held in public.
I don't say I debatable, yeah.
Yes. So he's coming from the pure background of a lawyer. Somebody that has understanding or appreciates the law. And you know, Martin Amidu is somebody that
when he Martin, me papa.
He's somebody, you all know him, that he's a very principled man. Yeah. When he has an opinion on something, he's not shy or he's not scared to talk about it. So he believes that whoever is pursuing that kind of argument is doing so, or is going against the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. But for him, he believes that the Constitution states categorically that such petitions must be held in camera, not in public. So he believes that the Attorney General should know better. And the former Attorney General.
Great. I think I tend to agree with you in all time. In some Martin Ekanina and baby odi a free back a cram de can yaw de no kyerɛ or say o hwɛ baby a maami a free bar opeso ye na adwen sɛ asɛm no yɛmfa enye de emra bedwam no Martin Amidu su no yenye nsa Martin Amidu course cite several articles the constitutional articles including the 1979 laws ni mra ewo mining bebre was citing na as a case study say the battle Chief Justice ne press yemfa mra bedwuma yenye nsa afi was say raise another serious is the just gone past Attorney General Godfrey Dame as say ono odi maami asɛm ama no no akria nso so ejina nipa ba ko no so edi petition call say no omo hwɛ maami na asɛm ye ni nisa na friends a member of parliament for friends Old Tafo Vincent Asefo no na wo hwɛ bebi a Godfrey Dame gina on the side of the Chief Justice no embattle Chief Justice and any member of Parliament here, you bet me aside, Timpo said there's a conflict of interest here. Now, on Hona Martin, Ichiremu said no. Ma meaning so air pressure, ye near some ewo bedroom, no, and you're not breast near bedi assembly bedroom. Or can ya be see, say, impo, ye constitution and emrano, aye, the ato say, so man penny ye bonity or mine one. Parliament, who can say, ye impeach president, and on any impeachment processes. Nanum pono, ye walk quiet, ye fastwa, ye the impeach president in Unifru. So, dear Bentina Mamino, changing on a person Nasem, ye the bedroom. Folks, maybe I'll be expanding more, but then I cut 3 pages, say, executive producer, edit twice, man, yaw, take it up from here.
Unfortunately, and for reasons best known to the Chief Justice, she chose to copy her letter to several addresses, including specifically a former Chief Justice, Sophia Ekufu, serving on the Council of State, even though the Council of State as a body was copied through its chairman and the Ghana Bar Association, who would coincidentally or on the prompt later speak in her defense. The content of her letter was given wide publicity in the media. I thought she had shot herself in the foot, both strategically and tactically, and I was vindicated when her request addressed to the president was acceded to, and in a way undercutting whatever capital she would have gained by keeping quiet and watching how the next steps would pan out. On 21 May 2025, on the 21st of May 2025, the Supreme Court heard and delivered its decision in 2 separate cases: Center for Citizenship, Constitutional and Electoral Systems versus the Attorney General. 2, Her Ladyship, Chief Justice Getrude Isaba Saki Torkonu, and 3, His Lordship Justice Gabriel Scott Kwaman, a Justice of the Supreme Court and the Chairman of the Presidential Investigative Committee established by the President, and Theodore Kofi Atakorte versus Attorney General, brought by citizens of Ghana challenging the removal processes commenced against the Chief Justice. The court dismissed each action or application. The 2 actions were supposed to have been brought by independent citizens of Ghana vindicating their constitutional rights under Article 2 and 130 of the 1992 Constitution. However, Ghana Web reported on the same day, 21 May 2025, after the proceedings at the Supreme Court that, quote, GH1 TV captured Francis Kofi Torkonu, who is the immediate past Chief Executive Officer, CEO of the Narcotic Control Board, NACOB, leaving the court, which was shared on X on Wednesday. The media house captioned the video, quote, CJ Torkonu's husband and legal team leaving Supreme Court following dismissal of an application for interlocutory injunction aimed at halting hearing of 3 petitions against the Chief Justice, unquote. Maybe the public would understand that Francis Kofi Torkonu's presence at the court premises was luckless coincidence, to use the words of someone who shares the same evangelical pastor or spiritual mentor with the Chief Justice. On the same day, 21 May 2025, Godfred Yebo Adame filed in the registry of the Supreme Court at 3 p.m. the writ in the case of Getrude Torkonu versus the Attorney General and 6 others, and an accompanying application for interim injunction against all the 5 members of the committee appointed to inquire into the complaints contained in the petitions against the Chief Justice. The timing of the commencement of Getrude Torkonu's action may also be a luckless coincidence in the public's perception.
Wow.
And maybe the public will rationally not make any connection or meaning between the president who appointed both the Chief Justice and the former Attorney General to this strategic and tactical move in the Chief Justice filing her action in court using the services of the immediate past Attorney General. The decision and conduct in the timing of the action in the court by the Chief Justice constitute non-verbal communication and sends out a message which the public as recipients are entitled to make meaning out of, which may or may not be helpful for the cause being pursued or advocated using lawfare. It may or may not be a coded call to all appointing president's appointees to rally around the respondent. It may or may not have prompted the references to some of the judges appointed by the President Akufo-Addo as NDC judges thereafter. The communicator is responsible for the meaning significant others make of these messages. Simple theory of communication studies. But let me hasten to say that when one looks at the public service and experience between the Chief Justice, who was enrolled as a lawyer with number 2110 on 2nd February 1987, and the former Attorney General enrolled on the same roll of lawyers with the number 3558 on 3rd October 2003, any strategic and tactical credit or misjudgment in the timing and conduct of the suit must lie primarily at the feet of the supposedly more experienced Chief Justice, who is still the head of the judiciary in Ghana. Discretion is the better part of valor. I believe it was the fact that Godfrey Yeboah-Dame exercised his acclaimed theoretical rights as a lawyer to represent whom he may after leaving the office that generated public comments, necessitating his having to grant the interview to City News Hansen Ajman on 22nd May 2025, in which he asserted, inter alia, that the hearing by the committee appointed by the President to inquire into the complaints against his client, the Chief Justice, cannot be in secret. It cannot be a secret. Quote, it cannot be a secret. There ought to be light on the proceeding because she has already been damaged in the public domain. Unquote. He was also reported to have said, quote, on the contrary, the conduct of the government so far, together with what has been witnessed in the whole of proceedings, will rather require that it ought to be in the public. Unquote. The rate which the Chief Justice caused Godfrey Dame to file on her behalf on 21st May 2025 seek to vindicate his assertions in the Supreme Court and to invalidate the whole processes leading to the appointment of the committee and to disqualify all the members of the committee from proceeding with their constitutional duty to hear the complaints of the petitioners who initiated the petitions under Article 146 of the Constitution. Chief Justice Getrude Torkonu and her lawyer have an uphill task in view of the binding decision of the Supreme Court in Ghana Bar Association versus Attorney General, Ejechum versus Attorney General, and Derry versus Attorney General. The Supreme Court in Derry versus Attorney General, which reconciled the previous two cases, decided that the annulment of the petition is not a remedy available to a respondent to petition and concluded as follows, quote, from the moment the President accepts the petition, the process of impeachment has commenced, and the process cannot be truncated except in terms as clearly expressed in Article 146.
I see.
And there are only two situations in which this can occur. Firstly, where the Chief Justice decides that there is no prima facie case under Clause 3. And secondly, after the committee set up to investigate the complaint has submitted its report. Apart from these two modes of terminating proceedings, commenced under Article 146, which are expressly provided for, it is impossible to import any other mode into the article to truncate the process, unquote. The court emphatically concluded that, and I quote, finally, The attempt to abort the proceedings also brings it in conflict with the provisions of Article 126 Clause 4, 128 Clause 4, 136 Clause 3, and 139 Clause 4 of the Constitution, which requires that only persons of higher moral character and proven integrity shall be appointed to the various branches of the Superior Court bench. Read side by side with Article 146 Clause 1, which requires inter alia that when a judge is alleged to have fallen short of qualities for which he was appointed, he should be investigated.
Yeah.
It is also a matter of public policy that allegations of misconduct or misbehavior against a public official, including a judge, should not be swept under the carpet. Indeed, the very integrity of the judiciary is at stake if such allegations are unexamined and found to be false, unquote. Despite the decision of the Supreme Court in the Derry case, many unscrupulous persons have for political and selfish reasons made it their forte to leak unauthenticated contents of the petitions allegedly submitted to the President for the removal of the Chief Justice in the name of freedom of speech, contrary to prohibitions by the Constitution. Indeed, the responses of the Chief Justice to the petitions also found their way into the media. The law provides a remedy to the committee as well as the party affected by an unconstitutional disclosure for bringing such unscrupulous citizens and media to book without aborting the removal processes initiated by the petitioners. See Derry versus the Attorney General. The Chief Justice and the immediate past Attorney General have filed a motion at the Supreme Court seeking an interlocutory injunction to halt the proceedings of the committee investigating the petitions for her removal. The statement of the plaintiff's case was not filed on the 21st of May 2025. It is difficult to conjecture how it supports the writ and the interim application. But every vigilant citizen knows that the Supreme Court rendered two decisions on 21st May 2025, which ruled against injuncting the committee. Maybe the writ and particularly the statement of the plaintiff's case, when filed and made public, will be weighty enough to support the application for interlocutory injunction filed by the sitting Chief Justice as plaintiff to convince the court to overrule itself. Grant the application for interim injunction and ultimately depart from its previous decision to abort the pending petitions. We are in uncharted waters, and all eyes must be on the Supreme Court. Every patriotic citizen has an obligation to defend the 1992 Constitution without considerations of any other form of loyalty to substructures existing and enabled by the Constitution. The patriotic citizen's utmost fidelity is to the Republic of Ghana as established by the Constitution. The judiciary is the least dangerous branch, and the citizens hope for freedom and justice. Consequently, we must channel our efforts to defend Article 146 of the Constitution and produce cogent evidence when we allege it is being subverted by any person or group of persons. In the absence of any concrete evidence of impropriety on the part of the petitioners, the public has a vested interest in knowing the outcome of the removal processes begun by the petition submitted to the President. Caesar's wife must be above suspicion. This is the only rational way to protect and defend the judiciary and administration of justice under a regime of laws and not of men demanded by the 1992 Constitution. Martin A.B.K. Amidu, 25th May 2025.
Great one, folks. Great one piece. Of course, we, Martin Alamisi Ben Kaiser Amidu, the article, a 6-page epistle or the abattoir for this very embattled Chief Justice. Now, I tell you what, folks, this issue seems as though it isn't going to go, off anytime soon. And what we are hearing in Kranum, and then not just a washer, na akwen who be brave, just gone past na, Abu Boston, folks. Thank you very much, sir. Ode Enyomegu has a mamenche message 1-2 binafi yen sorry swear yen simpi. Okay. We are saying good evening. I am Ibn from Kwabinya. CJ Torkonu Panie. Talking of her rights being abused, as they say, time really changes power. So soon she has forgotten being among judges that said our birth certificates can be proven. One citizen, this should be a lesson to all public servants that the oath they do sworn is to serve the people and not the appointing authority. All right, great one there, great one there. Where's I say the truthful investigative journalist in Ghana, Kweku, God is with you. Breu, Germany, Inodi free, Ebae. Which was a good evening, please. I am Isaac from Kumasi. Ghana. Ghana. Port. Honestly, Diana say, Kana Ghana na Ghana. Okay, we'll say hi there. Top of the evening to you, please. Honestly, I don't know what the CJ wants. She should let it go and move on with her life. The law is the law. What is done to Amma can be done to Kwame. We all must learn from this. More Amore Vivian. Okay, Amore Vivian. They are all kind of so say the Chief Justice in the panel or Befa or Penso or Becoso I am better. But if I were the Chief Justice, I think say Anameko. Say good evening, host. I think the NPP must know that Ghana does not belong to them. They should stop dreaming. Was it not the same Wuntumi that said on his TV? Said that he has power to change positions on the ballot paper. Wuntumi on his TV station demonstrating gold. Wuntumi on his TV station said JDM was having an affair with his housemaid from Ghana Army Barracks. Okay, also they are the buyer. My main company also say it serves her right. Next time, when you find yourself in such position, you would be neutral. Okay. It goes on and on. Well, I say, my name is Chianka Ki from Atimitim in the Upper West Achim constituency. Torkonu, who was delivering unanimous decisions with Godfrey Dame, as AG has received unanimous decision with the same Godfrey Dame as lawyer. This means position is not possession. You have to treat all parts of your towel equal. For the parts that cleans your anus today, they clean your face tomorrow. Nowadays, karma does not delay. Okay, quite literaturistics you're trying to. Folks in BCA, my main last one here, so say, hi, good evening, host. Why MPP thinking Ghana is their property, Francis Accra? I'm not quite sure they are thinking